and welcome to the Free Play Arcade Podcast. It's Chris Delp joining you, Community Liaison of Free Play Arcade. First, I would like to introduce, you've known her before, it's Stephanie in the office. What's your title, Stephanie?
Administrative Assistant.
Administrative Assistant of Free Play Arcade. You know her from the E3 podcast. What else did you do?
That's the only podcast I've done.
What? This is sacrilege. This is her second podcast, but not her last podcast.
I mean, my gamer tag is Spiffy or Spiffy Stuff, so if you play online, maybe you've seen me, but that's about it.
I don't know. If you've gotten a flight because you're a really awesome Street Fighter player.
I booked it. Hi.
Yes, that was Stephanie. You wondered. This is her, Administrative Assistant. And I am being joined by a very special guest. It is Angela Beard / Gory Midori. You are way interesting than most of us combined. So you start and I will finish your introduction.
Okay. So I am a roller derby referee, also a roller derby announcer. Also, I do a little bit of clinical psychology on the side. Yeah. And I mean, I think I should draw the line there.
I think that means you're more qualified both professionally and personally to talk about virtually any topic except for like high-level Street Fighter play than any of us.
Quantum physics is a little rough.
You can go further on quantum physics than I can. Everything I know was taught to me by Scott Bakula in the 90s. That's it.
Well, that's a credible source. Him and Bill Nye.
I hope so, because that's all I got.
I'm a fan of Mr. Wizard. He's a little underrated, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah we were dating ourselves, but yes. So Angela does commentary for us on occasion if you have joined in on our Twitch feed. So you're a professional Street Fighter commentator as well.
And I think I came in second place by nepotism for that very first tournament because you and I were partnered up.
That's true. You do the Dallas Derby Devils tournament. So has a little bit of Free Play Arcade history. And one person not in the room today, the CEO, Corey, he's off on an away mission, left us idiots in charge. So He'll learn. I don't have any thoughts on Billy Mitchell, the arcade 1-up. I'm not really like angry. So today's podcast is going to be some form of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And we're just going to leave it at that. If you would like more of those podcasts, then hit the subscribe button either wherever you're listening to it right now. We are on YouTube, iTunes, everything. In fact, if you're on YouTube, not only subscribe, hit that bell icon and make my coworkers happy that they get a notification. And you'll get more of us. So with that, sex, drugs, rock and roll, and arcade games, not really. We're going to talk about dating in the arcade.
That includes video games.
No. I mean, the drugs are alcohol.
So is there a dating video game yet? Because you told me there's a bartending video game.
Yes, there's a bartending arcade game that's Tapper.
Dating sims.
Yeah, Lauren Featherstone has been on.
I love me a good dating sim.
Is this like an official offshoot, or is it just what people do?
Oh, it's just a type of video game.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is a type of video game. I don't know if there are any dating sim arcade games.
Not to my knowledge.
If it was, I would want no part of it.
I don't think that would be the type of game you would want.
Sounds like Second Life.
There's a whole different type of like social game.
Yes.
No dating sims actually hit the arcade. Usually our classic 80s representations of relationships in arcade games leave a little bit to be desired. Hopefully they just lived happily ever after. That's about the best we can hope for.
Are we talking about like Mario Princess stuff?
Sometimes you can go and hit start on Double Dragon and get hit with your dose of domestic violence before you actually even get to begin to start the first stage. So yeah, it's hit and miss. It's not all bad. I mean, I'm a big fan of Ms. Pac-Man, even though the Ms. doesn't actually get her own name. I love her nonetheless. But it is what it is. I don't know. I didn't make the art back then. I hope for better now. But I'm doing my part to remake the culture as it is. So I'm here on a podcast with People that don't look like me. Like, that's specifically what I want.
Yeah.
Just diversity.
And you do a great job of that. I was actually just telling somebody the other day about the proactive measures that you guys take to try to make Free Play so inclusive.
It's part of community building. If your community is not diverse, then especially if you're peddling 25-year-old games, then you're not doing it right, because these are for everybody, because the things that I like about the arcade games should translate to everybody. So they should be inclusive. And we don't have time to turn away people. So it all makes sense and it all works together. But we're going to talk about dating in arcade games. Has anybody been on a date in an arcade here?
I have.
You have?
Yes.
Did it go well?
A first date. This is actually a pretty good story.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I like stories.
Yeah.
I got my popcorn ready. Let's go.
So I was on one of the dating apps. I don't remember which one. And there was a guy, his profile said something along the lines of, I just got out of 5 years in federal prison for crimes involving WikiLeaks. And I know his name. I don't even know if I should say it or not, because he's all over the internet.
Yeah, we know Snowden. It's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had arcades in Russia. I mean, I assumed.
And so just from that line alone, I was like, oh, I gotta meet this guy.
This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
This is gonna be good. You had your popcorn ready.
Yeah. So we met up at, what is it, Barcadia on Greenville? Or not Greenville, Knox Henderson. Yeah, so we went to Barcadia. He was a little socially awkward.
You don't say.
Yeah. he said actually prison was fine because he just got to read all his, texts. And he also told me about his heroin addiction and his, I think, abusive father. And the distinctive thing that I noticed is that he was vaping and smoking. So he'd smoke a cigarette, put it out, and then just pull his vape right out.
Interesting combo.
Yeah.
Well,
he seems very
I knew this was going to be all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Thanks for
yeah. He seems in psychology we might call it stimulus seeking. He just seems like, he kind of needs to be keyed up.
Was he drinking coffee at the same time as well?
Not coffee, but he was putting away, I want to say it was scotch on the rocks.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly. It might have been whiskey. But
this is why I don't drink alcohol, because I probably fall on that spectrum somewhere, and it would be a bad thing.
Yeah, but I've seen people chain smoke, but I've never seen smoking, vaping, double fisting.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either. That's an interesting one, that's for sure.
How about you, Stephanie? You've probably been on several dates. You probably it's normal for you, right?
I don't know. What is considered normal dating when you're married now?
Well, you're married, and your husband, spoiler warning, is in the video game industry, so...
True, yes.
You're probably going to... And you work at Free Play, so you probably have sauntered in there a time or two.
Yes. So I have gone on dates to Barcadia before. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Has anyone gone on a date on Free Play?
I'm getting there.
Come to Dallas.
Making my way there. Hold on. And it was fine. There was a small selection of arcade games there. Food was meh. I mean, it was fun, but it wasn't, what I was hoping. Then after I've already married, while we were waiting before we went to a movie, I took my husband to Free Play, and it's kind of funny because both of us have kind of different tastes in games. So he ended up playing one game while I would kind of run off and play another game because I'm very distracted like that. But I actually know the food's good there and the drinks are good there, and Free Play is way better, but I'm biased because I work at Free Play. So.
That's true. It's true.
Well, I can vouch for that. I mean, definitely compared to Barcadia, because it's the Knox Henderson area. It's got a lot of the young SMU Greek crowd.
Yeah. And no parking.
Yeah, that too.
I don't want to bash on competition or anything. I guess I'm sharing my Barcadia date stories. I definitely have gone on a date at Barcadia before Free Play was a thing.
Yeah, same. Free Play didn't exist back then.
If you're a big arcade game fan, probably just go on to Free Play. But I definitely partook in their Giant Jenga, which is their killer app.
Play it out.
I mean, it is
Just
what it
teasing.
is. They have giant Jenga there, and it is functioning properly. Yeah. So, but we have giant Jenga at Free Play Arlington. Go ask Orlando specifically for it, and he will provide it for you at the bar.
Nice.
How much does a giant Jenga set weigh?
I don't know, but I
Does it
wouldn't
come
want to
with
get hit.
handles?
I wouldn't want to get hit with it.
Yeah.
Right. And I wouldn't want it to hit me when I was in my own lane in a car. Like if it just like fell on me.
You know, getting hit when you're just minding your own business in your own lane of car kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Right, especially when it's by a giant Jenga set or just somebody when you're on your way back from Starbucks.
You sound like you have a story.
I maybe for another podcast, but I may have been in a wreck like 10 minutes ago. So
we thank you for your efforts to bring us
Devotion.
the holy juice.
yes, if coffee needs to be had, and I'm coming through anything. So yeah, I've been on many dates throughout the years to arcades. I just throughout the realm of things when I was a teenager and just I don't know, lost. Mm-hmm. And then usually in a relationship, I like for dating in particular, like I don't think you want to talk, like especially those first few dates. So
Yeah.
I think what's nice about that kind of date is it's really, for me, it's really important to figure out how two people can cooperate or how two people are in a competitive environment. And actually, I was gonna there's two games which I think are kind of a litmus test for me for somebody's character.
are they
really?
arcade games?
They aren't arcade
Okay,
games.
let's hear it anyway.
But, so I love skee ball. So right off,
It is an arcade game. We don't have it at
Okay.
Free Play Arcade.
Okay, cool.
However, I will say the owner of Free Play Arcade, Corey, loves skee ball.
Yes,
I
he
love
does.
skee ball too. And like the plastic skee ball balls, no, those are fired. Those are dismissed. But yeah, I like the wooden ones. And if somebody isn't as enthusiastic about skee ball as I am, then it's a demerit, you know?
Okay.
And then the other one, which is I think it's like a test of compassion or empathy or something. I am into those really incredibly stupid pusher games where...
Oh, the coin pushers.
the coin
Yeah.
pushers,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Not drug pushers. I know you wanted to talk about sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Oh, no, we've hit that. The rock and roll is going to be in cheesy 80s music form, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if somebody can't handle how lowbrow I am with that game, then they might be a little too elitist. So
I guess for me, I always want to talk on my dates. I don't want to. I mean, if it's my 1700th date, you know, if I'm dating my husband and the kids, then we're fine going off in our own direction. I'm fine watching a movie with them too because the movie I disaster story like number 1 through 10 are all involved just first date, let's go to a movie, it's going to be great. Sometimes it is great and I don't know them afterwards. Sometimes it's not great and it's like, wow, we had a shared traumatic experience, let's never talk to each other again. Either way, first date in a movie, not a great idea.
No,
First date
agreed.
first date at the arcade can work for you. I like games that let you talk to each other. So those cocktails, like the Ms. Pac-Man cocktail that alternates, and you're gonna play and I'm gonna play, and we can have a conversation while we play.
That's also good.
I think that's nice. Plus, if you're playing on a cocktail, you can have your drink right there, and just have a sip. It's so casual, so fun. Plus, spoiler, my favorite game of all time is indeed Ms. Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah,
It's a good classic.
yeah.
It has a happy ending.
Yes.
Yes, 3 kids exactly every
Yeah.
time I play.
3 kids.
Via Stork.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are there. We have, Galaga, Tetris, all in cocktail form.
I have a funny story about
Tetris?
about Dr. Mario.
Yay,
okay,
love
we
Dr.
do have
Mario.
Dr.
Who
Mario as
has
well.
a Dr. Mario story?
Not me. It's me avoiding Dr. Mario. All right, let's go.
So, let me piece together the details. This is a while ago. Okay, I think this is what happened. So, I same setup. First date, guy just got out. No, just kidding. He just got out. This is when I was living in New Orleans, and so I arranged to meet a guy for drinks. Just like happy hour type of thing.
Right.
And then last minute, I think before the time that the date was supposed to happen, I went over to my friend's house, and she and her roommate have the old school NES. And so I was playing games with them, and I was like, I should just invite him over to come play games with us. And so I did, and he agreed. And so he came over to my friend's house, and there was my friend, her roommate, and me and him. And so what happened was my friend's roommate, Allie, is obsessive about Dr. Mario, and she's a trash talker. And just incredibly, she's very competitive.
Is she local?
No. She graduated from med school, and hopefully turn that obsessiveness.
Darn, because I've got a versus Dr. Mario arcade stream challenge just waiting for her when she gets back into town.
Maybe I should look her up.
You let her know.
But so what happened was he went up against her. I think it was his first game of the evening.
I see where this is going.
And she was just being brutal to him, talking trash, making fun of him, beating the pants off of him, and he took it like a champ. But it was just kind of funny because I didn't know she was like that, and I didn't know that was gonna happen to this poor guy. So
I mean, that's my type of lady. I don't know. It sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah, she was fun.
Yeah,
we're talking about Tetris. I'm sorry.
Oh no! I'm talking about cocktail games. The cocktail games make good dates. I think team games make good dates too.
They do actually.
Yeah, we have Let's Go Jungle, side by side shooters, Area 51 cooperative, where you just sit next to each other and that's more. I don't know if that's first date material because again, you're not talking. You're just gonna shoot your way through a video game. But subsequently, we're gonna see how this plays out
for Bonnie and Clyde types.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh well, yeah, and Lucky and Wild. We had Lucky and Wild on the floor for a long time.
Is that a Bonnie and Clyde game?
Kinda. Well, they're both dudes, so it's more Clyde and Clyde. But Clyde 1,
progressive.
Clyde 1, aka Lucky, is driving, and Clyde 2, aka Wild, is driving and shooting.
Okay.
And you're no, both of them are shooting. One of them's driving, and then you're just shooting people down the road. And I'm not sure what the plot is. I know you get kisses from the female mechanics at the end if indeed you have destroyed your car, but if they do not kiss you if you have had a perfect run because they don't have any work to do and they're upset at you.
Those are some complicated dynamics.
Yeah, like I said, it's sometimes problematic what we have in our.
So they're gold diggers essentially.
I don't know.
It sounds like it if they work there and you're like, oh, mess up the car and they have all this work. Ooh, money.
Maybe they really appreciate having work. I don't know. I really try not to think about the dynamics of the early 80s arcade games.
But hey,
because
female mechanics.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. Yeah,
it's pretty progressive for the 80s back then.
Yeah, and that is pretty much how we had it in the 80s. It's either there's women represented at all, or it's just a
sexy Halloween costume.
Yeah, sometimes a sexy Halloween. I think that was the sexy Halloween costume. Yeah, the mechanics.
The mechanics.
Yeah, we had the bunnies doing the mechanic work, but a lot of times it's damsel in distress.
Stretching her arms overhead with her wrench.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh no! Although now we're going back into my style. Yeah. No, just your typical Japanese bunny representation that are in so many role playing games and Japanese arcade games or Japanese games in general from the era. Let's see. Let's Go Jungle. Have you played Let's Go Jungle?
I haven't actually. No.
What?
I know. Usually I'm too busy working instead of playing.
Go ahead and clip that and send it to Corey. That's his favorite date game of all time, and I have played it all the way through with Allison. And
we have it at Richardson, right?
We have it at Richardson and at Arlington. So it's a side by side shooter. You sit down, or in Richardson, it's a stand up version.
Yeah, I'm going to a party there soon, so I'll just check it out while I'm there. Yeah,
it's a rail shooter, which means, do you know what a rail shooter is? Mm-mm. Rail shooter means so you're standing in front of the screen or sitting. You have a gun that's, I believe, tied to the machine, and the path is pre-selected, and you're just shooting monsters and stuff that jump out of the jungle with you. And it is, I believe, they're either brother and sister or they are on a date. It's like a safari. It's like the plot from Jurassic World or something like that.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's vaguely playing out in a nonsensical way, so much so that I don't even remember the plot, other than there are people, man and woman, and they're doing Hades type stuff and getting attacked by giant spiders.
Kill all the spiders.
Yeah, repeatedly in that arcade game fashion. It's a nice bubble gum kind of go through a game. Nothing too intense. Nothing like hitting start on Double Dragon that's going to have your date just throw a beer in your face and leave. But
Awkward.
yeah, although like there's plenty of women that I've dated who would love to have a run through it Double Dragon with me as well, because it, you know, that's part of it. Like anytime where you can like work together, like I think that's good material. Like
Yeah, right.
And Double Dragon is that case unless you beat the game in which they say you guys have to face off for the princess.
Well, and also you can find out if somebody's a sore loser.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
an important
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about that? Like, so we're talking like head-to-head games, like a Street Fighter or
Right.
even like a racing game.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
How do I feel about it? Nobody
Yeah.
likes sore losers. Yeah, they're terrible.
I just kind of have that whole approach. If you've seen High Score Girl, I kind of like the main character.
Please
where
tell
I'm
me you just punch the dude like viciously like she does.
I don't punch, but I'm like more like the guy in there who just starts laughing and wants to purposefully beat him now just to see if he continues to get even more pissed off.
I've had a little bit
Double
of that.
down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of that in my past. I don't know. I go away from the salt as much as I can these days.
Oh,
But yeah, thank you. But
get a medal for this man.
You're more mature than I am.
I wasn't always. No. There was a time where I would just love to just like, you know, see, I would love to see like somebody get sore in front of, like when I was a little kid. Like when I was the little kid who beat the guy who was a sore loser and would get frustrated. I would love to see the girlfriend's reaction.
Sure.
And I'm like, 12 at the time.
Right.
So yes, when the guy is a sore loser, losing over and over again to a kid and just like, hold my beer. No, we're going again. I'm going again, and losing. And
Yeah.
I like seeing the girlfriend like eventually like drag him away.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that sounds like it could be enjoyable to watch.
I would have just left him be like, peace out. I'm gonna go get a drink and.
As a more mature version of myself now, it wouldn't be as enjoyable. But yeah, I was quite amused as a little kid. I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Well, of course not.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if you guys have been in, have you had like sore losers in
Not to
arcade
that
dates?
extent, no.
Well, you're with your husband most of the time, so I assume he has a healthy gaming habit.
Usually,
Yeah. It's usually probably if Dark Souls sabotages him or something like that.
Yeah, see, he's really calm with those games. You put me in front of Dark Souls, I'm throwing stuff. Like, I can't do
Oh, so
Dark
you're the
Souls.
sore loser. Okay.
Yeah, essentially.
Gotcha. Again, let's go back to the co-op games.
Well, co-op games, I'm, okay with that. It's just games that are ridiculously hard for no reason, like Dark Souls, and so I'm like, no. Arcade games are fun. So, I don't know.
Well, speaking of ridiculously hard games for no reason, feel free to check out our videos on Ghosts and Goblins in the arcade. Just click our video section. You'll find several of those. I like them. But
If you really want to test your relationship, Ghosts and Goblins, there you go.
yeah, just sit there and insist that they beat Ghosts and Goblins, and you're not leaving until you beat this game. Yeah.
And that's a cooperative game too?
No, that
believe
is an
not.
alternating, like, it's a
Okay.
brutally hard, it's one of the hardest games ever made, platformers, just infamously hard and not even fair and cruelly. and like iconic music, great graphics. It's one of the best games of its time, and also just like she said, just viciously hard for no seeming reason other than just...
To be hard and difficult.
Well, back in the day, they wanted to take your money every 90 seconds. That's all that mattered to them. And
That makes sense.
And this is one of the only games that I had ever encountered where the American version, like, it was created in Japan, and then they brought it over to America, and the Americans were like, no, make it harder.
Yeah, that does. You're
And
right.
usually it's
You're
the other
right,
way
that doesn't
around,
happen,
where they
Make it easier.
yeah,
right,
they made it more vanilla for the American audiences because they assumed we couldn't handle it. And no, this one was the opposite, where the Japanese version is consistent and then just extra cruel with the American version.
Which, speaking of hard games, I do have to laugh because everybody nowadays complains that like DLCs for modern games is taking away all of our money. It's like, have you ever visited an arcade that wasn't free to play? Like, literally, that was the original.
Right.
The original DLC that took all of your money. And now... and like, y'all, this thing's been around for a while.
Yeah,
Luckily,
pay to
you can
play.
do them
It
all
would be-
free to play.
It'd
at
be
our-
interesting to do kind of a side-by-side computation.
It would
how
be,
much
actually.
money somebody would play, like somebody who has like an average gaming habit at an arcade versus buying
DLC.
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I never would have known that because my habit was never average at the arcade.
Right.
And it was both like less expensive than you may have thought because I grew up poor. So it was, here's a shiny quarter. We will see you tomorrow. Or here's no quarter at all. We'll see you tomorrow. And I still love the arcade. But then I would also like play games which are good date games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or X-Men. And then I would just coast off the 8-year-olds who would roll in with, you know, $10
of them, yeah.
Yeah, $10 worth of tokens from their mom, and they're just feeding it into the machine, just Colossus, and I'm following behind the credit spamming nonsense. And then I could coast I would play a game of X-Men for hours. Did you you're a big Turtles fan, right?
Yeah, I did Turtles and X-Men back in the day.
I think that's one of our better date games as well, because you can any game where you can like co-op and narrative your way through it. Like there's no part of the sadness of those games, the old Konami fighters at free play, is the lack of stakes of you can just hit buttons and go through it. But it's like just the ultimate date game there because you again have no stakes. So it's not like, oh no, you lost my last quarter. You took my pizza. Now I'm not going to survive. And we're not going to see Bebop and Rocksteady collide into each other. No, it's not like that. It's more like we're just going to hit start again and keep going. So the stakes are low, and I see so many dates having good times with X-Men and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in particular.
But at the same time, you don't have to ruin the date by arguing with that other person or significant other saying, you costed me this date by making my turtle die by stealing the pizza.
Right.
This is your fault.
It is, and I will buy you another pizza from Carlos in the kitchen.
What's up, Carlos?
Yes, always what's up, Carlos. He's my leader.
He makes good pizzas.
He does. What other games we got that are good for dates? Oh, you know what? The really intuitive ones that are head to head, like Pong. Have you played Pong yet, Angela?
Ooh, so fun.
Pong, like the...
Oh, he doesn't know.
No?
Yes.
That one.
Sort of.
Okay.
So we have a real version of Pong at Free Play Richardson. So
you mean like a
electromagnetic?
like a hands-on
Yeah.
Pong.
Yeah. So
Fun.
it's
Kind of like air hockey.
Unix.
Kind
maybe?
of. Yeah.
Yes.
Similar mechanics.
Let me
in a
see.
way.
Yes. It is set up more like air hockey. So yes, it's a flat. It has a electromagnetic parts underneath.
Okay.
Foam pads and ball. So it's the graphics. The graphics are the same. It's just like white foam, and it moves like this. You have a big knob that you spin like this. So I am describing Pong exactly as Pong might be described,
Right.
And yet there is nothing video game about it. It is 100%
Analog Pong.
Yes.
Yes.
Analog Pong. And a Pong.
slash electromechanical, and it works fantastically. And it has like beer holders. So
The best.
yes.
I came up with a name for it.
What is it?
Pongalong.
Pongalong.
I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think officially they call it Atari Pong. I want to credit the maker.
You know, I think as somebody who enjoyed playing a contact sport, I think it'd be fun if human bodies were the barrier that the ball was bouncing off of.
Oh, like a VR Pong. I'm sure that something along those lines
but
happens.
our like real reality.
Oh, you're literally hitting?
Like somehow get me on a dolly, and I have to
Yeah, Atari.
get me on a dolly, put me in front of a goal, and make me block it like a horizontal goalie.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Atari Pong coffee table. Oh, that's just a coffee table.
Yeah, that's not the
That's not
full on version. Oh well.
Yeah, no, I need to check this out. Do all three of the locations have it?
Unis. There we go.
Yeah.
UNIS. Thank you for that. Yeah, no, just Free Play Richardson. We actually got the first model that was out. We tested it in our location and decided this is awesome for a retro arcade.
That
Absolutely,
sounds
we're
super
keeping it.
fun.
Oh, yeah.
It is super fun and it is super intuitive because I don't really need to explain Pong to you. You're
Right.
playing table tennis or whatever. Like it's super intuitive. We have other games like that, Pac-Man Battle Royale. Like there's one button, you don't even use that button. It's start.
Is that the one that has the pinball and the...
No, you're thinking of Baby Pac-Man.
Okay.
Which is actually more of the ruthlessly hard type.
Yes.
Okay.
But just the video game part. The pinball part's actually easy.
Okay.
top part, oh my goodness, hardest Pac-Man ever made. And it's called Baby Pac-Man, so you would think it was for little kids, and except it's impossible.
The paradox.
It's lovely, though. It's a great cabinet. That wasn't Free Play Richardson. But no, Pac-Man Battle Royale is the 4-player Pac-Man. It was made in, I don't know, mid-aughts, I think. Okay. Late aughts. And we had the Japanese version in definitely Denton and Richardson, but probably Arlington soon enough. But it's one of those games where like Pong, Super Chex Bubble Hockey is another one. Air Hockey, which is not in any of the arcades, but is just an intuitive game where you can play with each other and get hype. And it's a meaningless game. I hope it's a meaningless game unless you get super salty that you lost Pac-Man.
People do though.
Yeah,
they really do.
Some people do, but I think there's just
or like foosball. Man, people get.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so I've got to own that. Like when I'm playing foosball, it's like a full body sort of endeavor.
Oh, people get vicious at foosball.
Yeah.
We've had it in the previous job in the office, and some of the devs would get together and play, and I mean, they get vicious.
I can see that.
And super competitive. Like, there's a chip in this knob, so I'm at a disadvantage.
Oh,
like,
wow.
that type of people. I'm like, oh no.
I think the problem is those tables are, it's almost like they're too sturdy. Like, people just want to take out everything on them.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I don't know. There's also something about swinging something and smashing into a ball, like a physical ball. That's a pinball thing to have do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
people see the
leverage. Leverage is very like intuitively appealing.
Yeah, we're gonna have a podcast in the future about pinball strategy and like how to get better at pinball, and that's like the number one thing is like you see the ball coming at your flipper, and the instinct is just I'm gonna hit a home run here. Pow! And that's like. You have to avoid that sort of mentality.
Okay.
But it's so prevalent in a game like it's we're talking foosball. Yeah. Air hockey too. When I played air hockey as a kid, that air hockey puck was flying.
Yeah.
For sure.
Off the table.
I was I'm super competitive with air hockey. I love me some air hockey.
Yeah. And I learned quickly that keeping the puck on the table is a better strategy for scoring it than sending it into the quarter pusher machine where Angela's just trying to have a date and then gets whacked up on the side of the head with an air hockey puck.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm always thinking about you and your dates while I'm swinging away at air hockey.
This got awkward.
Yeah, that's why it's like not. That's why I don't know that we'll ever see air hockey at a free play location because projectiles in the arcade plus craft beer. I don't know. That doesn't really work well. Yeah, like hydraulics probably not the way to go.
We got Pong. I mean, it's close enough. I bet better though.
Pong. Well, yeah, Pong's not going to fly at you, I hope.
Yeah, it's not. Unless you just really are ripping that knob off.
Yeah, there's no projectiles. Oh my goodness, something has gone terribly wrong if there's a projectile. The worst I've seen is like the ball, the little mini cannonballs that are in pinball machines. Sometimes you'll hit it just perfectly. It goes up into the glass and you'll hear the loudest, most terrifying cracking sound.
No.
Have you had it happen yet?
No, but that sounds terrifying.
Well, see, that's the thing between like a video game Pong and game pinball and actual real pinball is like you hit that ball and it's a real mini cannonball going there with spin and physics. And that's part of the beauty of it is like you're juggling a ball that's moving around. But part of the terrifying beauty of it is like it can just shoot up, smash into the glass. I've never seen it break the glass. It's
well, good because replacing those glass parts are expensive.
Well, I think it's called tinsel glass. I
think so.
I wish Corey was here for that part, but
that sounds correct though.
Yeah, so that type of glass, like it's not going to be shattered by a ball like a little pinball. No. However, famously, a local pinball festival did not put tempered glass. It's tempered glass.
Oh, okay.
In a pinball cabinet during an exhibition, and that exact thing happened. And indeed, the glass shattered everywhere and just shattered, and then boom onto the table.
Nope, that's a nope for me.
And like it's tempered, so like not tempered, so it shattered in like the horrible way where it's just like a
not
bunch
the safety
of
way.
Yes,
shards.
Shards that you could grab and start going on a killing spree.
That person was dramatic.
Yes. But I have seen tempered glass break in the arcade before.
No,
Famously, Orlando.
Yeah.
He was fixing NBA Fast Break, and this is one of my favorite pictures of all time. He is trying to fix NBA Fast Break. He's got the marquee off, and the whole glass just comes down and shatters down onto the thing. Now, this is tempered glass, so it just itty bitty pieces all over the playing field. And I felt horrible for I had been working there for probably less than a year at that point, and I didn't work there. I was like, oh my goodness, this is the greatest Kodak moment ever. He broke the backboard on an NBA game. Orlando, you're my hero picture.
The closest you're ever going to get to NBA court.
I mean, that's the perfect game of NBA Fast Break. Please don't break our backboard on NBA Fast Break. And if you do, blame Orlando. And don't do that on a date. I'm not sure. It's an interesting story.
It's quite a display of prowess.
Yeah, don't.
So there's that. I had a question. Is this a PG podcast?
Let's say PG, and we were not going to like kill you if you go PG-13.
Okay, because I was curious about questions of dexterity, fine motor control.
Oh, how that might translate.
Yeah. And how you can size up your date. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can draw your own conclusions. It's
right. It's all out there on display.
That's true.
Like what's your attitude about losing? What's your cooperative spirit?
Right.
How is your fine motor control?
Right.
Yeah. Hits all the basics.
See ball, smash ball as hard as possible. You're Stephanie. I know I talked to you beforehand. You like attacks?
I'm actually still learning how to play attacks. I should have went to Josh's thing the other day where he was teaching people how to play attacks, but I could not go.
That's essentially a board game in video game form, so I think that's a good date game as well.
Yes, if I knew how to play it. But yes, I do not.
Okay, it's Reversey. It is similar to Othello. It's actually a game called Reversey.
Okay.
And it's a straight up a board game that was never released in that name.
I do like board games, so it would probably be good.
Yeah, it's like checker-ish.
Okay.
But one side is red, one side is blue. You're trying to turn all the pieces your color. It's turn based. It's timed, so it was trying to take your money literally every 90 seconds back in the day.
Wow.
But of course at free play we don't care, so it's just on free play and you play until the game is done.
Isn't it? I mean, it seems like it's the type of game that has certain winning strategies like Connect 4.
Yes.
And chess.
Connect 4 would be the one to compare it to, I would guess, because it's not chess level complexity.
Of course.
Yeah. Even fighting games, as much as fighting game players want to tell you that it's real time chess, it is not. That's real time paper rock scissors.
Okay. Good analogy.
Yeah, but Connect 4 is pretty close to
because there's, I mean, I've been in games of Othello where it's like you can see it coming. You're like, oh, okay, well, it's 6 moves away, but I'm obviously
gonna
lose. Yeah.
You know what? Attacks is not that way.
Oh.
So Attacks,
you can turn it around.
Yeah, Reversey was the name of the game, whenever it was created 100 years ago. But named that way for a good reason. Like, yeah, you can definitely turn it around. You could swing the score by 9 points with one move, and you end up taking little pieces, moving your little glob over here, and every piece it touches turns your color. And if you move 2 pieces, then you've abandoned your square.
Okay.
And then someone else can move their piece in there and then take all of your pieces.
Okay, so it's a little more complicated in a good way.
In a good way, but more like in a. Well, this game is the score is currently 22-12, and it is by far not over. In fact, it could be turning on a dime.
Much like roller derby.
Hey, there you go.
Is it? You guys have a lot of comebacks.
Yeah, because in one play, so the longest time between whistles is going to be 2 minutes. So you can be skating up to 2 minutes, no longer than that, and usually shorter than that. And if somebody goes a whole 2-minute jam, then they could pick up 20, even 25 points maybe. That's I'm sure 25, 25 isn't the record, but if you've got a fast jammer and, she's just really, deflecting the blockers well and, just racking up the points. Yeah.
Were you a jammer back in the day? What was your position?
So first of all, because it's interesting because virtually nobody, everybody that starts roller derby comes from a place of total lack of knowledge, right? Because nobody took derby in middle school or high school or whatever.
No, yeah.
Nowadays we have junior leagues, so that's changing now. But everybody who
I believe I've met one that came up through the junior leagues. You introduced me to her, and I forget her name, but very tall. And a jammer, I remember, because I watched her subsequently.
Bailey Wheat, yeah.
Correct,
Yeah,
yes.
her. Yeah, she's a phenom. But, yeah, so I played for about 2 seasons, but the first season, all I was doing was learning the game and getting up to the point where I could even carry myself in a game.
Right.
The second season, yeah, I was kind of a reluctant jammer. Like, my coach thought that I could be a good jammer. He put me in to jam a few times.
Does that mean you're a fast skater?
I mean, speed is definitely an advantage as a jammer, but a lot of it is footwork or what's it called? Not dexterity. Just basically being quick on your feet with dodging and juking and things like that. And you have to like be a skilled skater, like somebody who can skate on one foot backwards through, between in that like 5 inches between the blocker and the out of bounds. So. Yeah,
Gotcha.
somebody who has those types of skills can be a good jammer.
I
But
can't even walk through the arcade without bumping into people, so that's not me.
it's interesting.
same.
Like as from playing roller derby and even just skating as a referee, I've learned that I have really good awareness of my spatial needs on wheels in any form. So like on a bicycle and now on those scooters, I realize that I look like a little bit of a daredevil because, I know exactly how much space I need. Whereas people who aren't as experienced with skating or skateboarding or whatever, they're like, I need a 6-foot berth to get through here, And people who drive SUVs are like that too, I feel like.
Always trying to thread the needle with a giant
yeah,
vehicle.
they're like, I need. Okay, anyway, so yeah, like I'll just like.
Not
I'll
an
just
SUV that hit me
weave
earlier
around.
today.
Okay,
Not an SUV.
That's good.
but yeah, so learning that from roller derby was fun.
I bet I know the answer to this, but do you take dates to the roller derby?
Have I? Maybe once or twice. Yeah. But I mean, usually if it's a game, then I'm involved somehow.
Right.
And I don't get to
Makes
spend
sense.
that much time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. I have not. I would.
I think it's I think it's, because you can, it's kind of like.
But no, I would do first date there too.
Okay.
Because you do have time to talk. It's kind of, because it's a show. So.
Yeah.
But
I did, you know what? I
do like
remember now.
screaming.
I did take a first date to a roller derby game. Yeah. And then, it's conversational because it's not so loud or hectic that, you can't talk at all.
You know the rules, so then it's really conversational.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I can explain the rules and it's a nice, it's good people watching. So yeah.
People watching's always a plus.
Yeah.
Let's see. Back to our arcades though.
Yes.
Free Play has. So if you're going for a show, like we have regular parties. I know Corey likes to talk about them. The Blacklight party, the Retrowave party, the last Christmas party that you went to. Those are always like
You have
big.
New Year's parties too.
What's that?
New Year's.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Those are fun.
Yeah, and they're always like big like kaboom. Like there's special lighting. There's special giveaways happening. There's always a ton of things. There's a ton of people there. You never find yourself isolated. And if you're feeling like that concert vibe and you want to have your arcade turn into a club, that's that, or even like a normal weekend. That's like the Free Play vibe, and I see lots of dates taking that. Like you can go and hit the bar and then hit the patios if you're in Arlington or coming soon Denton.
Woo.
And then just have a nice conversation with all the other dates, or
Yeah.
marvel at Palmer and all of his madness.
Well, and you guys have, don't you have photo booths or photo ops, that type of thing?
Yeah, we do. It's right on.
Yeah. Those are always fun.
Yeah,
for
we
dates.
frequently do have some sort of photo thing. The New Year's party, they usually give us an Instamatic camera, a not Polaroid, and they elect somebody, and I'm the only one who will
Polaroid.
a Polaroid, and I'm the one who volunteers every time that I'm taking Instamatic pictures of everybody. So I'm literally wandering around the arcade taking pictures.
That seems fun.
It is fun, and I love seeing everybody's candid like faces that they
Yeah.
make, and I love to see all the people on their dates, and then it always works this way. I start taking pictures, and then couples come up to me and they're like, "Take our picture, take our picture, take our picture," and then it's nice to be wanted for no reason at all other than you're holding a camera and you're willing to take pictures.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I have one person, I can't remember who it is. He takes a picture with his picture from last year in the picture, and so he's making a giant.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. So he's been. This is his third year running, and he's got the picture going down the list. So that's a good one.
I like events like that where you have kind of diversity of options, as you know, like you were saying, you can go out to the patio for a little bit, you can go take pictures, you can go do like a contest.
Yeah, there might
DJ,
be a live,
like
a concert, a DJ, like
or
you
band
said.
or whatever. Like I like going to one event and having like multiple things going on that I can kind of move around.
I think that's like the specialty of any of our ticketed events. You can come to expect like special lighting, special games, special engagements, performers there, artists.
The Christmas party had breakdancing Santas, which is my favorite part.
We had a team
That was
of them.
awesome.
A team of them.
Santa B-boys.
Right, we had a breakdancing Santa the year before at last Christmas party, but
And one wasn't enough.
right. Well,
Correct.
I mean,
you never
if,
have too many breakdancing Santas.
Exactly.
if you're gonna end the world on Christmas again, then you got to end it harder. So and I think it was Last Christmas 2, Last Christmas Harder was the
Breaking
actual
2.
Yep.
right. So we had a whole team of dancing Santas, and it was a blast. I did not get nearly close enough to all the madness of breakdancing Santa. Yeah, we're getting the calm it down sign. So let's see, what would you guys recommend taking a date to an arcade?
I definitely recommend it. But for multiples of reasons. There's a whole bunch of different types of games you can play. You can see what the person likes. You can see, like, as you mentioned it earlier, how, like, the psychology of it all, how they react to losing, how they react to winning, the conversation skills between the two of you if you're doing a co-op, or even competitive, and see how that goes. There's always food and drink, so you can see what they like, what they dislike. There's just so much you can do. You get to see their excitement and how they... I don't know. Video games makes me very, very excited.
It's my special place too. Like
I
I want to share it. Like that is my life. I want to share like the enjoyment that I have with games with the people that I care about, and the people that I care about, just everybody.
And for me, it's also like a test. Like, are they excited to see me excited? Like, how do they react to my passions? How am I going to react to their passions in the arcade? So... maybe I'm biased, sure, because, I work at Free Play, but also, I just feel that way about video games in general, too. That's its own podcast of why I like video games, honestly. But yes, I say it's a great place for a first date.
Well, you're more from the outside looking in. What do you think, Angela?
I think what's nice and what's important about a place like an arcade like Free Play is that it has a bar, like a legitimate bar, too.
Yeah,
like,
award-winning craft beer bar.
Right, so...
tell my boss I said that.
Yes, sir. Because for me, an ideal date is conversation and getting to know you, stuff like that. So it's good to have you can go to the bar section and just sit down and chat. Because I like interactive dates, but I don't want that to be the only thing because
I want both too. Like I want to talk, but like I will get bored. Like if I just go to a bar, I don't drink. So
right.
So, and that's okay. I've been on many dates in bars.
We do have amazing iced coffee though.
Well, it's not just that. Like I'll go there and I kind of want to be diverted with some sort of activity after 30 minutes of sitting around.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. And I just realized when Stephanie was talking about it, I don't like high-fiving. I will high-five one place, and now I realize there's two. Like, I'll high-five at bowling alleys.
Okay.
Because that is just appropriate. But I realize that, like, going to an arcade, like, there's something earnest about that, It's wholesome, Yeah. So, it's like if I had a particularly good run, or if we're playing a cooperative game and, like, we're doing well or whatever, like, you can give your date partner a high-five, and that feels good.
The pop-offs can be so real sometimes. Yeah, usually I'm trying to fist bump my way through everything.
Yeah.
You didn't blow it up.
I can do this.
There we go.
Wow, I need the sound effects too. Never had that.
But I think it's a good place to get to know somebody and to have a lot of safeguards for like formatting for guaranteeing a good date. It's not going to be boring. It's not going to be too much pressure.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got a tip for the family daters with the kids.
Yeah.
So this
this
happens like every Sunday because I run Street Fighter tournaments for kids Sundays at 2, and inevitably one parent comes in with kids, right? They get the bracelet, they do the tournament, they play games for however long the little one's attention span can go, and then they keep the bracelet on. Then they come back with a significant other later at night, and then bam, you have because the music goes from like 80s like oh shoot, I'm blanking on every 80s tune ever, but never gonna give it. They're rickrolling you in the arcade, right? So it's like
you got to the rock and roll part.
Hey,
you worked it in.
Rockabilly and all kinds of stuff from the early 80s in the day, and then at nighttime it like goes to like a more late 80s 90s hip hop kind of feel to it.
A little more clubby.
I've heard so many renditions of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. that might be. I just want to retire that one just for a little while. Bring it back in like 2 months.
Switch over to Parents Just Don't Understand.
Yeah, there you go.
Womp
There you go.
womp.
I think I can beat Mike Tyson. And then you can play it with Mike Tyson's Punch Out. But yeah, so they'll go in, they'll have a nice date with the kids, I guess, and then they'll come back later and then have an actual date, and we're gonna Uber our way home.
Yeah, I agree. And my kiddo likes, to go
just
play
keep that
on the
bracelet
play. Yeah, and he likes to play on the pinball, so I have fun bringing my kiddo to the arcade. Granted, he's real little, but he still loves to come. Free play is like his second home now. What's that face for?
Let's see how
It's
he
my
turns
first
out.
home. It's my first home.
Well, he's like 4.
Right? All right. So you've been watching the Free Play Arcade podcast. I wanted to remind everybody to subscribe above or below, or you know what, wherever you're listening now, we have it on subscription. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, or on YouTube, hit the bell icon and subscribe.
Get those notifications.
Yes. And I am Chris Delp. I'm the community liaison, and we will be joining you again next week for not sure what topic. Hopefully the same co-host, because I like talking to you too.
Aw, thank you.
But speaking of Stephanie.
Speaking of what?
Sorry, this is Stephanie.
Signing off.
Oh,
Signing
you're signing me signing off. I was like, what's with the finger guns? I'm lost. Okay, sorry.
Bang, bang. I'm going full Palmer.
Buddy Jesus.
That's for Palmer.
Now you have me laughing too hard. But yes, this is Stephanie,
It's not
the
'cause I'm funny.
admin assistant, and I will see y'all later after we sign you out.
Yes, and I am Angela. It's been a pleasure talking with you guys.
Are you on social media, Gory Midori?
Yes, I am on social media at
Go ahead and plug it. You're nice
Yeah.
enough to join us.
Gory Midori on Instagram, and I think that's really all. I should keep it just Instagram.
Fair enough.
But
All
yeah,
right.
that's mostly. Let's see. There's food porn. There's chonky cats, and there's derby stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
So
and
all
you
And
and
the
your-
Interesting
related bout
things.
fits. That's what we call them. Our derby outfits.
I like it.
So bout fits, chonks, and food porn.
All right.
I love
Gory
it.
Midori.
We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.